Fun. Okay, well, let's start this properly. Everyone, this is Laurel Pantin. I'm so excited to have you here today.
Thank
I've been
you.
I've been a fan of your work for a long time,
Same.
and
Back to you.
so happy that we have a very good common friend that speaks so highly of you, which is Victoria Lampley.
Yeah,
And
the best.
I've heard about you for so long about her and how magical you are and how much of a unicorn you are and all these things.
That's
So
really
happy
sweet.
to
That's
have.
generous. Thank
Well,
you.
we're having a friend date now on, so I can actually get to know you more with like all the people that are listening to this. So
It
that's
also was
fun.
like it felt very fated that like you came into the store and then we sat next to each other at the Chandlu dinner. It's like
Yeah.
the universe finally
Yeah.
conspiring to bring us together.
I know. I know. Finally. Well, for everyone that doesn't somehow know who you are, do you want to give a brief intro?
Yeah. So I'm Laurel. I am a former magazine editor. I lived in New York and did that for a really long time. Like the very traditional magazine upbringing.
Yep.
And then I left magazines and was the fashion director for a small specialty store in Austin, called By George, which is an amazing store. And at the time, I was also starting my newsletter. So I started writing my newsletter in 2021 in the middle of the pandemic. I felt so isolated, and especially like so I have two kids. My oldest is 7, my daughter is 5, but my daughter was born on March 2nd, 2020 in Manhattan. So like at the very beginning of everything. So I was like thrown into this newborn with a toddler phase and isolated. And we ended up driving from New York to I don't know why I'm talking about this. It's such a long story. But anyway, we eventually wound up in LA. And now I write a newsletter called Earl, that is ostensibly about like fashion and style, but really it's like clothing and identity, especially for women, like midlife zone. I talk a lot about motherhood. I don't talk about parenting because I'm not a parenting expert. And that's like not that interesting to me. Talk about like motherhood and identity through style. And yeah. And so then I just opened my store in Beverly Hills, which is a tiny little, it feels like it's the dream apartment I would have if I lived alone right now. It's like a little fantasy shack full of things that I'm just crazy about. So a good mix of brands, some vintage, some jewelry, but not fine jewelry, and like little knickknacks and just special things that I love.
That. What I feel like so much of your career has been around taste. What do you think taste is?
Um, I mean, I think it's very subjective. I think that you can I think that you have to have taste with confidence, otherwise it doesn't land.
Yeah.
Um, and I think taste is really different from style. I think like when you have taste, you can appreciate something without necessarily needing to own it or needing to be it. And style is like, oh, that speaks to me, like to me personally on like a deeper level. So yeah, I also think that taste can be cultivated to an extent. I think that like depending on what you're exposed to and who you meet and like the kinds of encouragements you receive, you can acquire taste. But I do feel like a little bit of it is just innate, and it's like it's kind of instinctual. Um, but yeah, I really think that if you don't, and this is what I've found, especially as I've gotten older, if you don't have the confidence when you assert your taste or when you like make a decision, then it doesn't matter how good the decision is or how good the item is, it just lands flat. And when I was in my 20s and early 30s, I just had no confidence. And so it's really like I feel like I've grown into this position where I'm like I I have good taste and like I love these things and I can just put it out there without that much fear of judgment because I'm confident. And like it doesn't it's very subjective. Some people think I have terrible taste. Some I think, whatever. But like you have to have the confidence to assert it, I think.
Do you think that having that up, like, did you always grow up around fashion? Like, was your family into fashion? Because like you have, I mean, you did Lucky, you did Vogue, you did all the things.
My family, my dad is a photographer. Um And he definitely has a great appreciation for beauty and for style. He would take me shopping. He's Venezuelan and he's like loves to be the like sexy guy. So he would take me shopping and like kind of purr around things and he sometimes I was like his little doll in a way that like I just loved. He knew that I loved fashion and style and so he really encouraged me to explore all of that. Like there was in 8th grade I was buzzing his hair and I was like, "Do mine." And so he buzzed my head for me and he just like really let me explore all these different avenues of my personal expression, but he has a strong sense of style and a strong sense of taste and a really strong appreciation for beauty, and my mom had an ad agency and was an artist, and, she has her home is, like, the most perfect, exquisite home, and I write about her a lot, and I share pictures from her home, but, like, her house is so beautiful and she lives there with her husband and they work together. And so it's just the two of them. So it's this perfect, exquisite one bedroom. Like it is exactly what they need. It's not this massive mansion. It's not like it's almost like a really, really, really exquisite, like it's bigger than a bungalow, I guess, but it's a kind of bungalow vibe. But
Yeah.
like everything about it is perfect. So she has a really strong sense of aesthetics as well, and she has this, like, beautiful way of illustrating little notes and things. She's really artistic, but she wasn't really ever into fashion. I was the one always who was, like, playing dress up, thrifting. I was obsessed with clothes and self-expression always, but I wasn't, like, a fashion history nerd. I wasn't the girl who was, I didn't know who John Galliano was probably until I was, like, 18. I just I still operate this way. I operate entirely off impulse. I'm kind of shallow about it. So it's like, if it makes me feel something, then I like it, and then I'll find out what it is. But I don't take it that deep. I'm really, like, instinctual and, yeah, I don't know, just impulsive.
Which is probably also why you kept like moving up in your career. Cause I feel like, especially when it comes to magazines, because so much is about what it's supposed to be like. And
Yeah.
it's very rare for people to kind of have like a feeling, an actual feeling around clothes.
I was really lucky. My first real job was with Eva Chen at Teen Vogue. She was the beauty director, and I was her assistant for 3 years. And like Eva is every bit as incredible as she seems like she would be. She is the most generous, supportive person. Um, but when I was her assistant, I saw like, okay, Eva's the beauty director, but she's also spearheading Teen Vogue's betting line and a video game that we were working on. And contributing to the web, and she's on this new thing called Instagram. Like, it had just come up when I was working with her, and so I saw that, like, she's exactly the kind of person that I wanted to emulate because she was, like, so busy, so smart, had such great style and such great taste, and she was so kind. Like, she's just such a good person. So I was like, "Okay, the main thing is like she's diversifying her career, which probably makes her indispensable and also keeps her interested in whatever it is she's doing." So there's like a million reasons why that kind of approach I think helped me in the long term because like anytime as I moved up, like the budgets got smaller and smaller. So when I went to Glamour, they were like, "We need an accessories editor, but we also need a web writer." And I was like, "I'll just do both jobs." I was always happy to do both jobs. And so then also when I went freelance, I was like, I have a little bit of experience in so many different weird things, and I'm used to, like, mentally pivoting every 30 seconds to, like, a different task, which in motherhood also is necessary, but, like, I think I really give Eva a lot of credit for that initial training. Also, like, my experience in magazines was basically never cutthroat. It was never, like, dog eat dog and everyone's out to sabotage one another. Like, I got really lucky. I've only rarely had a male boss. I've only ever really worked for women. Um, and the girls that I worked with, we always became friends. And like, I worked with some big old school personalities, like old school style editors. Like, I worked with Carlene Surf a ton, and I was just like fascinated by her, like obsessed with her. I'm obsessed with her style. I think her behavior and like her way of moving and everything about her is just like I was like, "Oh my god, like, feed it to me with a spoon." Like, I just loved her. Um, but I never had, like no one ever, like, threw a stapler at me or anything. I was pretty lucky.
You didn't have that. I was crying. I had PR. I think I was just more on PR, so I literally definitely had. I was crying in bathrooms. Yeah,
No, I think
I
that,
was
like, my
definitely crying.
experience was unusual. My experience was
Yeah,
unusually positive, where it's like
especially
I
for
was
that
with everyone and
time.
we all liked each other, like
That's like such a unicorn. I feel like because
yeah,
yeah,
it
yes.
doesn't happen.
Did you leave the magazines because you felt like kind of like you could see the decline of like what was happening in the environment, or like why did you leave?
So really, I've always just wanted to work in a store. I've always wanted to be, involved in retail. The whole time I was in magazines, I was like anytime there was a job at Barney's or Bergdorf or Saks or anything, I would always apply, and I never even, like, really got an interview. I just always wanted to be part of a store. So, when I was in Austin during COVID, I met with the team at By George, Molly Nutter, the president, and I met with the ownership, and we were trying to figure out a way that maybe I could, like, work with the store while we were in Austin during COVID, and it wasn't actually until after we left Austin that an idea came together for me to be the fashion director at large. So I really left because of that opportunity. I knew I wanted to be in stores. And
Right.
I had been in magazines for such a long time, and I'm not going to say like I had learned all I could learn, but I was like I could kind of
Well,
put it on
yeah,
autopilot.
yeah,
Whereas like I had no idea what sell-through rate was. Like I had no idea what anything was related to. I had no experience at all. Um and it was just so fun and exciting, and, like, going on buying trips with the team at By George and Molly and the buyer then, Albert, who's a really good friend of mine, and we would, like you go into a showroom and when I was in magazines, you would go into a showroom and you would see something and you might really love it, but, like, you can't put it into the magazine because an advertiser takes priority or
mm,
it gets cut or something like that. Like, however badly you wanna support a brand, it doesn't always happen, but when you're buying, you meet someone and you fall in love with them and you fall in love with the clothes, and even if you don't buy it that season, you can give real feedback and eventually buy it, like and then you see it on people out in the street. It's like it's magic. It feels like Barbie's dream store. And anyway, so that's why I ended up leaving. I just had no intention of going freelance. I had no intention of, like, being a newsletter writer full time, but I also have always, like, really like I said, I'm not that deep. Like, I go with my gut, and when something sounds good and fun, I just, like, run towards it and, without thinking too much about the future. And it's worked out.
yeah, yeah.
But, yeah, I it wasn't and, like, kind of the decline of magazines. I saw that budgets were getting smaller and people were getting laid off and everyone was being asked to do more with less, but it was really more just like, I don't really wanna edit the gift guide again. Like,
Yeah.
I did it. I'm good. I'm ready for something new.
And how did you even hear about Substack?
So, I started my newsletter on I wanna say, like, Tiny Letter,
Mhm.
and what it really was, I like talking about myself, obviously. I will talk about myself forever. I love attention. Um, I liked doing kind of, like, self-reflective writing when I was at a different outlet, and in my job at InStyle, there wasn't really an opportunity to write like that. Um it was very at that point, it was really formulaic. I was, like, doing a lot of interiors things, and it was like, Victoria always wanted to have a purple room, so when she saw her house in Brentwood and she saw the corner, she knew she must have it was like,
Yeah,
you know? So, I was like I had all this feeling about being a mom to a newborn and a toddler in COVID and, like, watching New York City basically burn to the ground from a distance, this thing that I, like, loved so much. So, anyway, I just felt like I needed to write about that. So, I started it on Tiny Letter, and I sent out a few letters, and it really wasn't at the beginning, it was mostly, like, essays, some product recommendations, but not really about styling. And then someone from Substack just reached out, and they were like, have you heard of this thing called Substack? And they were really supportive in helping me transition my subscribers to Substack. And I didn't like again, this is truly like the moral of my life. I didn't know what I was doing. Even when I named my newsletter, I didn't think that anyone would ever even see it. I thought it was like an internal place, like an internal thing that like didn't matter. I didn't think that it was like, no, this is the name of your magazine. This is the name
yeah.
of your book. Like I didn't think about any of it that hard. Um, but I was lucky enough to join early on, and so I benefited, I think, from that longevity of being one of the first fashion writers. or like style people on Substack, but it's been like an amazing platform.
Yeah. No, it's great. I mean, I started in 2022 after I had my first kid because I couldn't put two sentences together, and
Yeah,
I was like, it's gonna be a good exercise for me to start writing things down,
totally.
because I can't, I can't communicate. I feel like my brain had all this like blame fog. But I remember around because I think you were already there when I joined. And I remember you made a post in it was you were leaving by George, and you were transitioning to a full-time, like,
Newsletter.
Substacker, like, which I guess now everyone is talking about Substack and, like, a business and all these things, but, like, it was not a thing a couple of years ago, right? Like,
No,
most people didn't even know what it was. Like,
no.
what made you, like, do the jump, and was it scary?
It was definitely scary. Honestly, just necessity. I think the long distance work situation wasn't working out, and like I just I'm s- we're all on very good terms. Like everything, it's not that kind of a situation. Um, I'm still really close with that team. I just like the travel was
Too much.
bonkers with two little kids going to Austin every month and then traveling for market 4 times a year. Like it it wasn't my kids were too little, it just wasn't working, and, I honestly, when I went out on my own, I thought I was going to be doing a lot of consulting, or that I would find another full-time job, and I applied for a few other full-time jobs, and I had some meetings, and at the same time, I was just continuing to work really steadily at Substack, and I have a great agent. I work with Delphine Delval at Pool, and so she and Wes, her husband and also partner at Pool, were kind of like, You can do it. It's gonna be okay." And they were very reassuring, and, like, slowly more partnerships started coming through and more things started happening, and I got more interested in Substack generally and, like, trying new things and shooting video, and I sent myself to Paris for the first time, and I just kind of, like, took these little snacky steps towards what it looks like now, but for sure in the beginning, I was like, "What the fuck am I doing?" But also, I've never known what the fuck I'm doing. I'm always
Yeah,
just, like, by the seat of my pants.
just random vibes.
Totally running on vibes, which, like, freaks my husband out and freaks a lot of people out, but,
But
like,
it works out every time, it
it's
seems
worked
like.
out, and I also
Yeah.
just think that, like, I really do think that you have to strike while the iron's hot, so when something makes you feel lit up inside, it's definitely worth pursuing. And I'm like, I have enough energy that most of the things like the store I started working like I'm still writing my newsletter, I'm still doing branded content, I'm still doing all of the other stuff I was doing before, but like at night I work on this or I work on my book and I work on like all these other things because it's fun. And also like having little kids, honestly, I'm like I'm not going out. Like I'm not going to dinner. They go to bed at 8 and then like what am I doing? I'm not just gonna like lay in bed and watch TV. I've got like ideas and shit going on. It's like it's just as easy for me to be on my computer doing work than it is to like lay in bed and watch basketball with my husband. Like I'd rather
Do
work.
something. Yeah.
Yeah. Um but yeah,
What was
it was
that
scary.
what was that for? Because I don't know how it was for you. For me, I feel like I had my kids, I moved to LA, and I was so used to being part of this fashion ecosystem where I had a
Yeah.
seat, I was going to shows, I had a certain validation based on kind of like the 15 years I had spent kind of like building my fashion career.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, sorry. I'm just like reorganizing myself so I can plug my phone in.
no worries.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I wasn't going to shows and I'm still seeing all the people do all these things like and I kind of like to your point, I didn't want to be there because I want to be with my kids because that's why I chose this life and that's why I'm in LA too.
You?
But like there was like, am I missing out? Am I like becoming a stay-at-home mom in Brentwood? Like, is that what people think of me? Like
I
when they
know.
look at my Instagram, like,
It's
is it
hard.
just me or like is it like a real?
No, it's really hard. It's really hard. And honestly, like every time I go to Paris, I'm like, am I even gonna get invited to anything? Like, am I gonna get to see anything? And like I talk about this a lot with, like, my friends who worked in magazines before, like, when I was at a magazine and I didn't get a seat for a show or I didn't get invited to a dinner or whatever, I was like, "Oh, it's because of the magazine." Like, it's
Yeah,
not personal. They have, like maybe there's another editor already going, or they have a relationship with another editor, or they don't want the magazine there, like, that's fine. But when you're on your own, it's like, "Oh, no, they just don't want me." And so it becomes weirdly personal, and it's hard to not take it personally, and I have enough friends who work in PR to know, like, it's really not that.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes it is personal, sometimes they just yes, but, like, there are limited seats, and everything is limited, and yeah, but it is like that. It's not even for me so much of FOMO, because like you said, I don't want to be there for me. I want to be there. I wanna be invited and then decide not to go most of the time.
It's for my own ego. Like, I
Yes,
just wanna know that they would want me there, so
totally.
I can say I decline because I am choosing to stay with my kids there, but at the same time, it's not
100%.
like I'm going to Paris and asking to go, so no one knows. Like,
Yeah.
you know?
That's one of the things that I think is actually really nice about LA. I feel that way less here because it's like there's just not as much going on here. And I get invited to things and I say no to most things. I don't get invited to that many things. And there's definitely things that happen here. I'm like, oh, I kind of wish I would have been invited. But like for the most, I'm not feeling it on a daily basis. Whereas in New York, I think I would be like, what is going on? Like I'm on, I feel like like, I don't know. I would spiral in a much more significant way. But no, that's really very real. And, like, also, when I left magazines, seeing how, like, everything just kept going, I was like, "Oh, they're gonna like, I don't know what I thought was gonna happen, they were gonna, like, miss me or what, but, like,
Yeah,
surely this doesn't actually happen when I'm not there, and, like, no, it does. Like, no one gives a fuck about you. It keeps happening.
I know. I know. I feel like it was the same way for me. I mean, I was just on the store side, but it was very I was like, "Oh, they're gonna be nothing without me," and I'm like, "Well, everyone is still doing everything that they were doing before, and I'm just out
Yeah,
here." And,
yeah,
like,
I
and
know.
sure, it's the life I chose. Like, I chose to move to LA. I chose to have kids. Like, I makes me very happy, and it adds a lot of value to my life. But it's not the only thing that I am. And I feel like
No.
sometimes with social media, people can, if you're not going to the shows and you're not in their face, they're like, oh, she's retired, or now she's just a mom, or like, I heard all these comments. I'm like, they're so hurtful. I'm like,
Yeah,
I've been on Substack for a long time. That is a business. I built, an app, but because no one saw me while I was doing that publicly, then everyone just doesn't see the work that was behind it, which I
I
find
know.
very challenging.
It's very challenging. I also think, like, I realized not just that, like, they think that I'm retired or have slid off the face of the earth, it's like no one thinks about you.
Well,
But
even
then
worse.
I
Yeah.
also think that, like, no one thinks about you anyway. Like, if I was in New York, and even if I was still at a magazine, like, no one cares anyway. Like, everyone's only thinking about themselves to begin with.
Fair.
But, yeah, I think, like, putting myself back into that, like, I have 0 interest in moving back to New York in this like, at this moment of my life. Like, it's been really nice to step outside that, but I definitely have going back into it moments where I'm like, if I lived here and had FaceTime with these people all the time, all of this would be so much easier. And like, do I just look like an idiot sending myself to Paris? Kind of like, what is she doing here? And like, yeah, there's definitely some element of that. And it feels awful and like losery, especially when you're spending your own money to be there. It's like, ooh, it's so cringy. But then on the other hand, like, how else am I ever going to see anybody?
Yeah. Yeah.
I live in the
Well,
middle
and
of
it's
nowhere in
also like,
LA.
it's kind of like what you were saying before, but like the other way around. Like, you are a media company right now, and that's just a
Yeah.
fact. You are a company right now. It's not just Laurel. Like, I'm gonna go see my friends and take photos outside of shows. Like, the business, the newsletter is a business. Your
Yeah.
story is a business. Your partnerships are a business. Like,
It's
it's a
definitely all a
real
business,
business.
yeah, and having the store like, this past trip, I had to stay longer because I was, like, buying and doing press, so, yeah, it's definitely there's definitely a very solid reason, but that internal
Struggle.
weird feeling, especially having kids, because I'm like yeah, I think that, like, you're sold on the idea that, like, your kids are your everything, and when you realize that, like, they're they're everything, but, like, I still need more than that,
Yeah.
it's it's hard to, like, to be honest about that and to show up for things voluntarily and not I don't know, for me, it's hard to feel like I'm not missing out on something at home or, like, failing in some way at home, the guilt of it, or I feel like I have to go just and come back as quickly as possible. It's yeah, that element to it makes it even harder and weirder.
Well, because then it's also harder to even, like, get to enjoy it, right? Like, I was in Mexico for 36 hours, like, a week ago for a
Yeah,
shoot, and I could have stayed for an extra 12, like, a day, like, at least. So I arrived, I shot that morning, I arrived at 5 in the morning, shot the next day, and then came on the overnight flight. I could have slept a night, you know what I mean? But you
yeah,
feel so bad, it's like, it's Sunday, the kids don't have school, I really wanna be there, like, but at
Yeah,
the same time, I also want to enjoy what I'm doing because
I
it's a
know.
group project.
I feel like I'm imposing on my family when I go like that. I'm like, not that my husband isn't very helpful and very willing to,
Yeah.
like, take care of
Sure.
the kids by himself while I'm gone, but I'm like, it's that, like, I hate asking for help, and I hate needing I'm very independent, like, I hate needing people in that way, and so, like, that feeling of I've asked him to put his work on the back burner for a few days so I can go do this, and I have to be as, like, quick as possible, everything as quick as possible, make it as painless as possible. But yeah, I mean, I was when I before this past trip to Paris, I would, like, land in the morning, go to a show, be at appointments, go to a dinner, barely sleep, do another full day and another full day, and then leave. I was there for, like, 2.5 days, which from
From
LA is,
LA.
like it's like a 12-hour flight,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I was just
Plus a
like, "This is
9 hour
just how
time
it has to
difference.
be.
A
This is
nine
just
hour
how it."
time.
Yeah, totally,
Yeah.
yeah, and I was like, "Well, that's just the only way to do it." And this past time, I was like, "No, I do need to stay. I need to see the brands, and I need to see the product, and I need to see everything, like, I have to just stay."
Yeah.
And it was like, no, it was fine. But yeah, and it's all very self-imposed, I think. Like, no one in my family is making me feel like I can't go except for me.
Well, it's kind of like the fashion thing that you were saying. Everything goes. No one is dying. Like your kids are not dying because you're not there. Like if
Totally.
anything, like they're probably having more fun with your husband, eating whatever they're not allowed to eat and watching TV.
My kids are much better behaved when I'm not there. He's always like, "It's so weird when you're home, they are insane. And as soon as you leave town, they're like they go to bed easily, there's no whining, nothing happens, and, like, when I'm at home, it's just, like,
I wonder
chaos."
why that is because my kids are the same way. And my husband is like, they were great. We're having dinner at a I'm like, what? No
I'm
one
glad
is
to hear
here.
I'm not the only one. I'm glad to hear I'm not the only mine are, like, so easy, so chill, so cool, so fun, and then when I'm there, they
Arrow.
just whine.
Yeah.
They just whine.
All the time. I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think has been like, I mean, has this been the most challenging part about like becoming a mom for you?
I think just, like, for me so I really struggled after I had my son. I had really bad postpartum anxiety, and I basically was like, this was a mistake. Like, I should not have done this.
Were you young?
I was 32, so I was
Okay.
on the younger end in New York. I was the first of my, like,
That's a teen
cohort.
mom. For New York City, that's a teen mom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was
You
pretty
have a
young.
16.
Yeah, and, like, in retrospect, I'm glad that I did it when I did, but I was 32 when I had him and 34 when I had my daughter, and then I was done. I think the thing that I've struggled with the most is, yeah, that, like, that loss of independence and feeling like before I had kids, I could do whatever I want whenever I wanted, and I didn't really have to explain myself, and, like, I've gotta like, I bought this antique thing in New Jersey at a flea market, and I'm just gonna like, don't even worry about it, like, I'm gonna take a van and go and get it, like, just I'll just be gone. Like, that
Mhm.
kind of thing doesn't happen anymore, where now it's like everything is a puzzle to figure out, like, can I but hypothetically, like, who's gonna watch the kids while I go to New Jersey? And how long is it gonna take? And what happens if I get in traffic and I'm not there in time to help for XYZ thing? Or what happens if it's takes forever and my husband has an important call or someone gets it's just like you all of my independent instincts are there, but I have to operate now as like a unit. And that I find really stressful
Yeah.
and like not frustrating, but just like I mourn that ease of moving through life when you're only concerned for yourself.
Yeah. It's a lot of
I miss being
logistics.
selfish.
Yeah.
And I am
Yeah.
still pretty selfish. Like I'm not I when I want to get my nails done, like I get my nails done, but it's more of a consideration.
Yeah. I also think that there's this idea of like that you have to be selfless to play martyr because that makes you seem or look like you're a better mom. And even if you don't believe that, being around a lot of mothers and parents that do, and then you see them kind of like, kind of in Spanish you say flagelándose, like
Yeah.
flagellating yourself, like
Yeah.
around it. It's just like, wait, does that mean am I doing something wrong because I need to go get my nails or because I really need a break right now, like
Yeah.
from everyone for an hour, and I need to sit at a coffee shop and just not have anyone say mama 30 times in a row.
It's like that's the thing I find challenging. Like when I get into that mood often where I'm like, I just need everyone to shut the fuck up like right
Yeah.
now. Just like
Yeah.
get away from me and shut up. And you can't have it.
No.
And I do get into that like that martyr thing where I'm like, well, I was, da, 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 I did this, and like I don't want to ever be that person, but sometimes I am, and it's just like it's awful. I also really struggle with this thing that like enjoy your babies are so little, enjoy every moment. Like some moments aren't enjoyable.
Some
Some moments are
yeah.
just like I'm just barely gritting my teeth and barely getting by without like screaming.
Yeah.
I think that like that thing where you feel like you have to be present and savor every moment, and like every moment is a beautiful moment with your kids are miracles, like they are, and they are amazing, but like the expectation that anyone could do a job 7 days a week, 24 hours a day for 18 years straight is unrealistic, and like let alone enjoy it all of that time. And I find that pressure is what trips me up most, where I'm like, I could be on a beautiful hike in Malibu State Park with the kids, but I haven't been able to go pee by myself for 3 days, and like no matter how great it is, how beautiful the moment is, how much my kids are telling me they love me and like running up to give me dandelions, like I I could just be done.
Yeah.
And it's like that I find hard, like, to realize that, like, I'm just not enjoying this right now, and I should be enjoying it, and I should be enjoying them, and, like, I know how finite it is and how precious they are, and I think I, like, I I push through things that, like, I otherwise would need a break because I know how limited the time is with them. It's weird.
Yeah. It is weird. I think that, I mean, just expecting it to like be a pleasure. I think is maybe also comes from the fact that you're saying that you have trouble kind of delegating.
Mhm.
Because I'm Hispanic, so I'm really good at delegating.
Yeah.
So I'm like, let me call all the help. I rather not buy something, and like I need someone to come and watch so like them for like 3 hours so I can feel like myself again. Because you cannot be a good mom if you're like constantly overstimulating, and it's
No.
so overstimulating to like like it's very cute when they say mama for the first time, but when you hear it like 30 times in less than 1 minute, like mama, mama, like in the car, like
Oh my
I'm
god.
gonna get a panic attack.
Oh my
I
god.
can't.
I can't. The number of times you hear mama in a day, and it's like, it doesn't bother my husband. He's like, "Why is that bothering you so much?" And I'm like, "Because I'm trying to have a complete thought, and you can ignore it because they're not calling for you, but even if they're my kids will play like babies,
Yeah.
right? And they're like in the game, there's like a mama. And so the baby that they're playing is going, mama, mama, mama. And like I know they're playing a game, but when I hear it, it still is just like my lizard brain turns on and I'm just like, ugh, like what? And like I can't have a complete thought ever. And I get
Yeah.
so, so overstimulated. And like my husband just doesn't understand what that even means.
No.
But yeah, I have a real problem delegating. I'm just like everything I'll just do it myself. I'll just do it myself, and then I get to a point where I wanna, like, die. But I have been really lucky to have, made an amazing group of friends out here. Um, the moms that I've met through school, like, last year before the fires, my husband and I were still kind of thinking we might move back to New York, and, then the fires happened, and we were like, "Well, I guess like, this is a pretty good time to,
Yeah.
maybe at the end of this school year, this is pretty scary. We're gonna pack up and leave." And I was like, we left New York in a scary moment. I really didn't wanna leave LA in a scary moment, but I did miss New York. But then over the course of the next few weeks, the way that the women I had met through school came together and took care of each other, and, like, the way that, the families who lost their homes, just, like, how it was, the kind of thing where it's like, you don't even have to ask. Like, this horrible thing has happened, and I know that it has happened to you, and, like, you don't even have to ask. We're doing it. Like, just the way that people came together, and then there was another tragedy this year too with our friend group, and, like, the way that everyone came together again for that, I was just like, "This is so special, and this is really not something that I can ever take for granted, that, like, people will let me help them and let me help support them." And then also knowing that if something like that were to happen to me, that I wouldn't even have to ask for the help. that it would just appear. And not just like logistical help, but like people who know what to say and
Yeah.
people who are just like just incredible women and super funny and super smart and like, yeah. So with my kids, I'm kind of like, I don't care if you don't like this school. I mean, they do like their school, but I'm like, we're staying. Like, I just
Yeah.
love these moms. But we really have, I feel like we really have of the, like the village thing. And like,
And it's so rare.
it's
It's
so
really
rare.
so rare, especially in LA. Like I struggle with that sometimes because I haven't found it still.
Yeah.
And it's just it gets very lonely here.
I
Like
didn't find
especially
it
when you're
until
working for
elementary
yourself.
school. Yeah, I only found it when Ellis went to kindergarten and I met the moms there. Because, like, when you're in preschool, I think it's kind of transient and you're like, unless you really, really, really hit it off with someone. Like, I have one close friend who we met in preschool, or no, two, but unless you like naturally really hit it off with each other, it's like we're only going to be in this class together for 2 or 3 years. Like, you're not really going to invest in the friendship here. But then in elementary school, we're like, oh my God, we're going to be together for 7 years. Like, this is a long time, or 6 years, or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, and that group, we also just got lucky. We had really great friend chemistry, and but that, I mean, like, yeah, I don't have such a hard time asking for help with my friends because that is more like I have to work. There's no school today. Who
Yeah.
wants to come over and bring their kids over to my house? Because it's also my kids, like mine are older than yours. Like it's easier when there's
Oh
four
yeah.
kids
Yeah.
playing than when it's
Yeah.
just siblings.
Yeah. I see it already with my older one. No, obviously the baby's just there. Like, but with Atlas, that is almost 4, we went on a trip and there was only another baby and he was bouncing off the walls
Yeah,
because he didn't have anyone to play with. And then he expected me to be that body. And
no,
I, 43, I can't play like that.
no.
I was going crazy. I was like,
No, no,
what
no.
are we
I'm not
doing?
getting on the floor and doing this with a toy. Like, I'm not.
We can go to a museum. Like there's other activities. I also do better in an activity setting. I'd rather take them somewhere to do something than sit on the
Same.
floor and play with them. Playing is
I'll do
not.
art projects. We can bake. It's
Yeah,
fine. But I'm
yeah,
not doing this with like a little pony. I can't.
yeah. No,
But
it's
that is where like, yeah, parenting is better in numbers.
yeah. No, 100%. I saw your daughter last time I was at the store, and I thought that was so cute that she was like a part of it. Is she loving it?
She she likes it in theory. I think my kids like coming to the store because there's a bakery downstairs, so they always get a cookie. And then usually when they're here also, it's because like they have a doctor's appointment or they're sick or like not like sick. If they were sick, I wouldn't bring them. But like my daughter
Yeah,
had this ear infection thing anyway, so she was here because she was homesick. And so they get to watch an iPad, which like I don't let them do iPads. We'll watch like one show together sporadically, and it's like a family. We watch like Is It Cake together or Bluey or something, but they
yeah,
don't like. I save the iPad is like break in case of emergency, and this is not because I'm like holier than thou about iPads. I just realize the power of the iPad, and like if you overuse it, it loses its power, and I need it. Like in moments when I need it, I really need it. So it's like planes, doctor's appointments, when I have a call, iPad.
yeah,
Otherwise, fuck off. Like,
yeah. Same. We
go
do
do
the same
something.
thing.
Yeah,
Does she care about fashion or no?
she does. And she has a really strong sense of style and she has her own little point of view, which is really cute. She loves to play in my closet. She loves to touch my clothes. Um, but she's so girly. She likes the things that you would expect. She likes like the girly stuff, the sparkly stuff. She loves to try my shoes on. Um, I have tattoos on my ankles and I got this beautiful pair of Herbert Levine PVC little kitten heel pumps. They're so crazy. And I put them on and Phoebe was like, "Oh, mommy, I like your new shoes." And I was like, "Yeah, do you like them? Are they beautiful?" And she goes, "I like them, but it would look a lot nicer if you didn't have tattoos." I was like, "Oh."
Okay.
Like she has a strong point of view and she had like all I can't just buy her anything and she'll wear it now. She has to have approval. She's 5.5 and she doesn't like sweatpants. She only wants tight pants, which I'm a little bit like, no, you're gonna wear sweatpants. Like I'm sorry. But
That's
yeah.
funny.
I let
What
her
do you
like pick
think?
out her own shoes recently and she got like little glitter combat boots, which she's been wearing. And it's just like it's just so cute.
So cute. I love how cheesy you're allowed to be at that age. Because
Oh,
I feel like
totally.
naturally I also like loud, bright, cheesy things. And that's probably why I'm also obsessed with having a daughter, because then I can live vicariously through her and like wearing glitter everything and a tutu for like
Yeah.
lunch, because why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Um, do you think that she was just born like that, or is she like becoming that because of you?
I think you're born like that.
Okay.
I think, like, because I'm not, like, that girly. I have sequins, and I love, like, a Dries sequin, but
Yeah.
I'm not, like, princessy,
Yeah.
and at home, I wear, like, a sweatshirt and jeans. And I don't ever wear makeup. Like, I don't know, I'm pretty tomboyish, and she's just, like, she wants to do my makeup, she wants to do my hair, she wants to do this, and she wants to do that, and, like, we never really exposed it to her. She loves pink, she loves unicorns, she loves rainbows, and, like, great, we'll, pursue that, but, like,
Yeah.
it just came out of her.
What do you think? Because I'm curious. There was a lot of controversy around the masks for kids, and then they were saying that they were tapping into a market because kids wanted it. I was I was very kind of like thrown off because I mean I have an almost 4 year old. Obviously, I have boys, but they've never tried or asked me to wear a face mask, even though I've worn them. Like, is your
Yeah.
daughter into them? Does she want to wear them?
She she's never seen me wear one. If I wear one, it's like a clay mask, and she's always like,
Yeah,
"What's on your face?" She's never seen me wear one. She's definitely interested in makeup. Like, she wants little makeup kits and
yeah,
little, like, hairdresser kits. I think that, uh, we I think that the face mask thing is really disappointing. Um, I think that it's unnecessary, and I do think it's, like, I think that encouraging your daughter to take care of her skin at that age is great, but I think at that age, what's appropriate is washing your hands,
SPF.
washing your face, and wearing sunscreen.
Yeah,
Like, that's teaching you to, like, take care of your skin, not to try to improve your skin. I think that, like, this idea that there's something that needs to be improved upon is inherent when you do any of these masks. Like, I do a clay mask to get the stuff out of my pores. I'm not doing it to, like, nourish my skin or protect my skin. Like, I wanna look
yeah,
better. And, like, everyone's gonna hit that point eventually, so, like, why not let kids have a few more years where they don't think about that? But I notice it in my daughter where she'll say things about her body, or she'll say things about her looks that I never talk about my appearance. I never talk about, not in a negative way. I'll proactively say, like, "I feel really beautiful today. I look really cool today. I love my outfit today." I'll say things like that because I think that she should be able to say things like that when she feels like that, and I think, like, rather than saying, "Daddy, don't you think I look beautiful today?" Like, I don't want her to feel like she has to have someone else tell her.
yeah.
So even though it feels stupid, I'll say it in front of her, but I've never been like, "Ugh, like, my pores, I'm bloated." Like, she doesn't hear it, and so I really don't know where it's coming from. Um, I think I actually have to run.
Okay. Okay.
Um, but but yeah, I think that, like, I don't know, I think it's really disappointing and upsetting.
I just want to close really quick with the store. Can you tell us about where the store is? How do they
Yes.
make an
So I can
appointment?
show you.
Why they can expect? Yeah, we get a tour.
It's not quite set up yet because I just ran in, but I'm sitting on the floor in the main room. So there's a website, earlirl.com, and you can make an appointment there or email me, earl@earlirl.com. And it's set up to be appointment only because I have one dressing room. It's me here, like, you will see me. Um, and I don't want it to operate just like any other multi-brand retailer. It's really like, you come in, have a seltzer, let's talk about what you need, and then I'll pull things for you, and we'll start from there, and, like, maybe a pair of jeans really works. Okay, what can we do with the jeans? And we'll talk about, like, how you can style the jeans, what kinds of shoes you can wear with them, and, like, I'm finding that people are really willing to ask me a lot of questions and ask advice about these things, and I just love it. Like, it's a dream, and I have a wide range of price points represented. Like, our t-shirts are $40 up to a dress that's 3,000. Like, denim it's higher end denim. Shirting is like 275. There's a mix. And then
Yeah.
there's an assortment of vintage and resale Celine, Prada, Dries that I've collected. But yeah, just a dream come true. It's really a dream come true. And like, yeah, come and like sit on the floor and let's have a chocolate almond. And I don't know. I just always end up like telling everyone everything about me. I'm just like a totally open book for better or worse. But yeah, it's just I love it in here.
I mean, I think it's what retail used to be. And that
Yeah.
I remember like going to stores and like really having a relationship with the sales associate and like really like spending time. And obviously it has changed because everyone is just looking at sell-through rates and
Yeah.
not focusing in curation as much as you are. So I
For
just,
better or worse, like I still don't know what my sell-through rate is. I just know how people are responding. I don't know. I'm like,
yeah,
I'm not business minded. And so maybe this is going to fall apart. But for now it's been really great. I was thinking about like how you used to go and shop in outfits and you would find a pair of pants and you would get the shirt to go with it. And then you could
yeah,
talk about like other ways you could wear the things, but you would leave with an outfit and an understanding of like what purposes the pieces could serve in your wardrobe beyond that one outfit. And so that's kind of what I'm trying to tap into.
awesome. Well,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you for being here. Everyone go to the store. It's so good. The vintage
Thank
is
you. This is
so
so
good.
fun. I'm sorry I have to jump.
No,
I'm like, I mean, as you know, you're like
it's
juggling a
Thanksgiving
million.
weekend on top of it. So yeah, it's all the fun
Yeah.
things.
Oh my God. I
All
keep
the fun
forgetting
things.
tomorrow's Thanksgiving.
I know, same. I'm like, I am not cooking, so I literally just booked the trip to like San Diego, so I don't have to cook, and there's an adventure and magic. So
That's
there's, you know,
that's the move. For me, it's not so much the cooking as it is the cleaning. Like I just can't. I mean, I don't
yeah,
like to cook, but I really don't like to clean. We're going to a friend's house, so we're lucky. But yeah,
that's
I can't.
perfect. Like, just bring up something already made and be like, here you
Yeah,
are.
they ordered everything, I think, too. So it's like no one's really cooking. It's
I love
perfect.
there's no, no one can really play martyr. Everyone is just like
No,
happy
there's no
to be there.
guilt. No.
Yeah, perfect. Well, happy Thanksgiving and thank you
You
for being here.
too. So good to
Thank you.
see you.
Nice to
Bye.
see you. Bye.